There's something happening here that most doctors won't tell you. A silent pattern that could change everything you believe about your eyes. Picture this. You wake up one morning, reach for your phone, and notice the text is just a little blurrier than it was last year. Just getting older, you tell yourself. Maybe you schedule an appointment, get a stronger prescription, and accept it as an inevitable part of aging. But what if I told you that thousands of people across America are quietly proving that vision? Decline isn't inevitable? In the mountains of Colorado, 76-year-old Richard still drives without glasses. In small villages across the globe, from the highlands of Peru to remote Japanese islands, elders maintain crystal clear vision, well into their 90s. What do they know that we don't? When you walk into an optometrist's office today, you're offered 3 options. Glasses, which you'll need to replace with stronger ones every few years, expensive surgery, that doesn't prevent further deterioration, or medicated drops that treat symptoms, not causes. It's a profitable cycle, for everyone except you. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the weight of dependency settling on your shoulders, the thought that your vision will only get worse, never better. Now imagine the freedom of waking up to crystal clear sight, of watching your grandchildren's faces with perfect clarity, of driving at night without fear. But that's impossible, you might think. Everyone loses their vision eventually. That's exactly what Sarah thought before she discovered what I'm about to share with you. At 63, she was resigned to progressively stronger prescriptions every year. Today, at 67, she reads bedtime stories to her grandchildren, without reaching for her glasses. The truth is hiding in plain sight. Your eyes aren't simply aging, they're starving. And what they're hungry for isn't complicated or expensive. It's something so fundamental that modern medicine has overlooked it in pursuit of more profitable solutions. When you truly understand that your eyes are living organs, breathing, consuming, and regenerating every single day, you begin to see the obvious question: what are you feeding them? The answer begins on your plate, continues in your daily habits, and culminates in a revolutionary 5-minute routine that could transform your visual reality. Not through magic or miracles, but through addressing the fundamental nutritional deficit that's been quietly damaging your eyes for decades. Take a deep breath and feel the possibility settling in your mind. What would your life look like with clear, strong vision again? How would your confidence change? Your independence? Your daily joy? This isn't about reversing time. It's about giving your eyes what they've been desperately craving. And it all starts with understanding the truth about vision loss that nobody is talking about. Place your hand over your heart. Feel that rhythm? The steady pulse of life flowing through your body. Now, gently touch the skin beside your eyes. The same life-giving blood that powers your heart is feeding these delicate organs. Your eyes aren't static cameras. They're dynamic, living tissues that breathe, consume, and regenerate. Every second of every day, your eyes are working harder than almost any organ in your body. They process millions of pieces of information, adjust to changing light, maintain moisture balance, and send continuous signals to your brain. This incredible activity requires constant nourishment, oxygen, nutrients, hydration, just like your heart or your brain. When Rebecca first came to me, she described her eyes as just getting old. At 57, she had accepted progressive farsightedness as inevitable. But when we examined her daily routine, the truth emerged. 14 hours daily staring at screens, chronic dehydration, processed foods, and constant stress. Her eyes weren't aging. They were crying out for help. Think of your car, I told her. If you never changed the oil, ignored the maintenance lights, used the wrong fuel, and drove it hard every day, would you blame the car's age when it broke down, or would you recognize it was how you treated the car? Your eyes are no different. They're not programmed to fail at 60, 70, or even 90. They're designed to last a lifetime, if given what they need to thrive. Consider this. Your eyes contain some of the fastest healing tissues in your entire body. The cornea can repair itself from minor damage in just 24 hours. The retina continuously regenerates photoreceptors, Even the lens, which we're told becomes permanently rigid with age, maintains some flexibility when properly nourished. When you understand your eyes as living, breathing organs, not mechanical devices with an expiration date, everything changes. Suddenly, symptoms like pressure, blurriness, dryness, and night vision problems aren't just signs of age. They're messages from your eyes about what they're missing. James discovered this truth at 65. His optometrist had told him his increasing prescription was just normal aging. But when he began treating his eyes as living organs, nourishing them properly, reducing strain, allowing recovery time, something remarkable happened. Within 3 months, his night vision improved dramatically. 6 months later, he could read restaurant menus without squinting. Not because he found some miracle cure, but because he addressed what his eyes had been missing for decades. Listen closely to what your body is telling you. When your vision blurs after hours at the computer, that's not age. It's fatigue. When your eyes burn and feel dry, that's not just getting older. It's dehydration and nutritional deficit. When headaches accompany visual strain, your eyes are begging for rest and proper care. The most beautiful truth about your eyes is this. Given the right conditions, they have remarkable capacity to heal, regenerate, and even improve. Not through expensive interventions, but through restoring what's been missing from your daily routine. Feel the weight of resignation lifting from your shoulders. Your eyes don't have to continue declining. They're not broken, they're depleted. And depletion can be reversed when you understand what your eyes truly need. All it takes is 5 minutes a day of focused attention. 5 minutes to begin restoring what years of neglect have taken away. 5 minutes to remind your eyes that they deserve care, not resignation. Your eyes don't just help you see the world. They are your connection to it, to the faces you love, the places that move you, the words that inspire you. Imagine rediscovering that connection with newfound clarity. That journey begins not with accepting decline, but with understanding your eyes for what they truly are. Living miracles capable of remarkable renewal. Can you recall that moment when you first noticed something wasn't quite right with your vision? Perhaps it was struggling to read restaurant menus in dim lighting. Maybe road signs at night became harder to make out. Or subtle colors that once appeared vibrant now seemed washed out and dull. Most people dismiss these early warning signs, attributing them to just getting older. But what's actually happening inside your eyes is far more specific and far more reversible than simple aging. Right now, as you're reading these words, 3 invisible enemies may be silently damaging your eyes: chronic vitamin A deficiency, persistent inflammation, and unchecked oxidative stress. These aren't inevitable consequences of time. They're the result of modern lifestyles that have fundamentally changed how we nourish and use our eyes. Mark, a 54-year-old architect, came to me frustrated by his decreasing ability to drive. At night, it's like looking through a dirty windshield, he explained. Headlights have these starbursts around them, and it takes forever for my eyes to adjust to darkness. His doctor had simply prescribed stronger glasses and suggested he consider limiting night driving, accepting diminished capacity as normal. What his doctor never mentioned was that these exact symptoms, poor night vision, slow dark adaptation, sensitivity to glare, are classic signs of vitamin A deficiency in the retina. Not severe enough to be diagnosed as a medical condition, but significant enough to progressively degrade his quality of life. Picture your retina for a moment. This delicate tissue contains millions of specialized cells that convert light into electrical signals. At the core of this miraculous process is a pigment called rhodopsin, which cannot function without adequate vitamin A. When levels fall even slightly below optimal, your night vision is the first to suffer. It's like trying to take photographs with too little film. The camera works, but the images come out grainy and unclear. And vitamin A deficiency is just the beginning. The second silent attacker is chronic inflammation, a persistent low-grade fire smoldering in your tissues. Every time you stare at blue light from screens, consume processed foods high in omega-6 oils, or experience ongoing stress, You're feeding this inflammatory response. Your eyes, with their delicate blood vessels and tissues, are particularly vulnerable to this damage. Close your eyes and visualize tiny blood vessels becoming narrower and less flexible. Feel the subtle pressure building as circulation diminishes. Imagine essential nutrients struggling to reach the cells that need them most. This is what inflammation does to your eyes. Not overnight, but gradually, day after day, year after year. The third enemy is oxidative stress, the biological equivalent of rust forming on metal. Your eyes are exposed to more oxidative damage than almost any other organ. Sunlight, artificial light, environmental toxins, and even the normal process of vision itself generate free radicals that damage cellular structures. Think of your eyes as a car left out in harsh elements: sun, rain, pollution, without protective wax or regular maintenance. Eventually, the paint fades, the metal corrodes, and systems begin to fail. This is what's happening inside your eyes when antioxidant protection is insufficient. Jessica experienced this reality at just 42. As a marketing executive glued to her laptop for 12+ hours daily, she started noticing persistent dry eyes, frequent headaches, and blurred vision by afternoon. Multiple eye drops and new computer glasses helped temporarily, but never addressed the root causes: nutritional deficiency, chronic inflammation, and overwhelming oxidative stress. Here's what most eye care professionals won't tell you. You don't need a pharmacy. You need cellular nutrition. You need to extinguish the inflammatory fire. You need to neutralize the oxidative damage before it accumulates beyond your body's ability to repair it. And the most remarkable part? This transformation can begin with just 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes of intentional action that targets these specific problems at their source. Feel that sensation of hope rising in your chest. The heavy resignation that your vision must inevitably deteriorate is based on an incomplete understanding of what's really happening. Your eyes aren't simply getting old. They're responding to specific deficiencies and damages that you now have the knowledge to address. What if you could start reversing years of accumulated damage tomorrow? What if clearer, sharper vision isn't just a memory, but a possibility waiting to be reclaimed? The path begins with understanding your eye's greatest ally, a nutrient so powerful, yet so commonly deficient, that restoring it alone can transform your visual experience in ways you might have thought impossible. Imagine for a moment that you're standing in a magnificent art gallery. The walls are lined with breathtaking paintings, vibrant landscapes, detailed portraits, scenes so real you could step into them. Now imagine all the lights slowly dimming until you can barely make out the images. The paintings haven't changed, but your ability to perceive their beauty has been dramatically reduced. This is precisely what happens when your eyes lack sufficient vitamin A. The world is still there in all its glory, but your ability to see, it diminishes. Not suddenly, but gradually, so slowly. You might attribute the change to normal aging, rather than recognizing it as a correctable deficiency. Let me share something remarkable. Vitamin A isn't just beneficial for your eyes, it's absolutely essential. Without it, vision itself becomes impossible. This powerful nutrient forms the very foundation of the visual process, creating the pigment that allows your retina to detect light and transform it into the electrical signals your brain interprets as sight. When Emily first consulted me about her progressive vision problems, she was skeptical that something as simple as nutrition could make a difference. At 51, she had accepted her increasing dependence on reading glasses and her growing discomfort driving at dusk. It's just part of getting older, she'd been told repeatedly. But one symptom caught my attention: her increasing struggle with dry, irritated eyes. Few people realize that vitamin A is crucial for maintaining the mucous membranes that keep your eyes naturally lubricated. The millions of Americans spending billions on artificial tears often have no idea they're treating a symptom while ignoring the underlying cause. "I don't understand," Emily said. "I eat carrots and take a multivitamin. I should have plenty of vitamin A." What her doctors never explained was that the conversion from beta-carotene, found in those carrots, to active vitamin A is inefficient in many people, particularly those over 40, those with digestive issues, diabetics, and anyone with certain genetic variations. In fact, research suggests that up to 45% of adults may have suboptimal vitamin A levels, despite consuming what nutrition labels suggest is enough. Close your eyes and feel the subtle dryness as you blink. Notice the slight strain as you focus. These sensations aren't inevitable consequences of time. They're your body communicating a specific need. The signs of vitamin A deficiency are often misattributed to aging or digital eye strain, difficulty adjusting to darkness after being in bright light, increasing glare sensitivity when driving at night, colors appearing less vibrant, text seeming less defined, and that persistent dry, scratchy feeling that no amount of artificial tears seems to permanently resolve. But here's the truly extraordinary part. Vitamin A doesn't just prevent further damage, it actively rebuilds. The cells in your retina are constantly regenerating, and with proper nutrition, they can regain function you might have thought was permanently lost. James, a 67-year-old retired teacher, discovered this truth after years of declining night vision. I had given up evening driving entirely, he told me. The glare from oncoming headlights was overwhelming, and I couldn't see well enough to feel safe. 3 months after optimizing his vitamin A intake, through both dietary changes and proper supplementation, he experienced what he called a miracle. It was like someone cleaned a dirty window I didn't even know was there. Suddenly I could see details at dusk that had been invisible to me for years. What James experienced wasn't a miracle. It was the natural regenerative capacity of his eyes once they received the specific nutrition they had been craving. Imagine your eyes as a garden. For years they've been experiencing a slow drought, not enough to kill the plants entirely, but enough to prevent them from flowering to their full potential. Vitamin A is like the life-giving rain that allows these plants to not just survive, but thrive again. Feel the possibility resonating through your body. What if the visual limitations you've accepted as permanent could begin to reverse in just weeks? What would it mean for your confidence, your independence, your daily joy in seeing the world with greater clarity? The transformation begins with just 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes of intentional action that can change the trajectory of your visual health. Not through complicated medical interventions, but through providing your eyes exactly what they've been silently needing all along. Your journey toward visual renewal starts now, with simple steps so powerful, yet so overlooked, that you'll wonder why no one shared them with you before. Let me ask you something deeply personal. How much would you pay to maintain or restore your precious gift of sight? Thousands for laser surgery, hundreds every year for stronger prescriptions, endless bottles of eye drops that offer temporary relief? What I'm about to share with you requires no expensive equipment, no doctor's appointments, no prescriptions, just 5 deliberate minutes of your day and a commitment to feeding your eyes what they've been silently craving. This isn't about instant miracles. It's about consistent nourishment that triggers your body's remarkable capacity for regeneration. Just as a neglected garden doesn't bloom overnight when you finally water it, your eyes need regular attention to gradually restore what's been lost. Sarah laughed when I first suggested this approach. At 62, with progressively stronger bifocals every year, she couldn't believe something so simple could make a difference. If it were that easy, she said, wouldn't every eye doctor recommend it? 3 months later, she called me, emotion catching in her voice. I just read a text message without reaching for my glasses, she said. First time in 7 years. Your 5-minute daily ritual begins with breakfast, the most overlooked opportunity to nourish your visual system. Instead of processed cereal or quick carbs that spike inflammation, imagine starting your day with a vision-boosting powerhouse meal. Picture this: 2 eggs, providing retinol, the preformed vitamin A your eyes can immediately use, cooked in, a tablespoon of grass-fed butter, supplying the fat needed for proper absorption. Alongside, half a cup of chopped spinach, delivering lutein and zeaxanthin that protect your macula, and a quarter cup of diced orange bell pepper, offering bioavailable vitamin C that supports collagen production in your eyes. This simple meal takes just 5 minutes to prepare and delivers more visual nutrition than most Americans consume in an entire day. Not a morning person? No problem. These ingredients can be prepped the night before and quickly warmed in the morning. The key is understanding synergy. Vitamin A requires fat for absorption, antioxidants work better together than alone, and protein provides the building blocks your eyes need for repair. For those days when cooking isn't possible, a properly formulated supplement can bridge the gap. But beware, not all supplements are created equal. Most multivitamins contain beta-carotene, which many people, especially those over 40, struggle to convert efficiently to the active retinol form your eyes actually use. Look for a supplement containing retinol palmitate, the storage form of active vitamin A, in doses between 2,500–5,000 IU daily, enough to support vision without risk of toxicity when used as directed. Combine this with 20 mg of lutein and 2 mg of zeaxanthin for comprehensive protection, but nutrition is just the foundation. Your 5-minute ritual continues with 60 seconds of physical relief for your strained visual system. Close your eyes and place warm, not hot, compresses over your eyelids. Feel the gentle heat penetrating the delicate tissues, improving blood flow, activating oil glands, and delivering those precious nutrients to cells desperate for nourishment. As the warmth soothes your eyes, transition to the final 3 minutes of your ritual. Conscious relaxation that counteracts the visual stress of our screen-dominated world. With eyes still closed, take 5 deep, slow breaths. With each inhale, visualize healing oxygen and nutrients flowing into your eyes. With each exhale, imagine tension and toxins being released. This isn't just poetic visualization, it's triggering your parasympathetic nervous system, which governs healing and regeneration. Next, perform a simple focusing exercise. Open your eyes and extend your arm with thumb up. Focus on your thumb for 3 slow breaths. Then shift your gaze to the farthest point in the room for 3 more breaths. Return to your thumb. Repeat this cycle 5 times, strengthening the flexible focusing muscles that grow rigid with age and screen use. Finally, practice palming, the technique pioneered by ophthalmologist Dr. William Bates that has helped thousands improve their vision naturally. Rub your palms together vigorously until they warm. Then place them gently over your closed eyes without pressing on the eyeballs. Create a complete blackout effect while breathing deeply for the remaining time. Feel the profound relaxation spreading through your visual system. In our visually overwhelming world, your eyes rarely experience true darkness and complete rest. This simple practice provides deep restoration that modern lifestyles systematically deny. These 5 minutes, intentional nutrition, warm compresses, breathwork, focusing exercise, and palming, create a powerful daily ritual that addresses the root causes of visual decline. Not through magical thinking, but through fundamental biological support for the organs you depend on every waking moment. Robert, a skeptical 58-year-old accountant, agreed to try this ritual despite his doubts. "I'll give it 3 weeks," he said, "not a day more if I don't see results." 6 months later, he's not only maintained the practice but expanded it. "My wife thinks I'm crazy for saying this," he told me, "but I swear I'm seeing better than I did 5 years ago. Colors are more vibrant, my night-driving confidence is back, and I've stopped reaching for my reading glasses without even thinking about it." Imagine experiencing that same transformation, not through hoping or wishing, but through giving your eyes exactly what decades of research shows they need to function optimally. All it takes is 5 dedicated minutes a day, less time than you probably spend searching for misplaced reading glasses each week. Your vision is too precious to surrender to unnecessary decline. These 5 minutes could be the most important investment you make in your sensory future, an investment that pays dividends with every clear sunset, every child's smile, Every page read without struggle. The choice is yours. 5 minutes that could change everything. Starting today. Close your eyes for a moment and remember a time when you could see clearly without effort. Perhaps it was years ago. Reading a book before bed without squinting, driving at night without anxiety, waking up and immediately seeing the details of your bedroom without reaching for glasses. That experience of effortless vision isn't just a memory. For many who commit to the 5-minute daily ritual I've shared, it becomes a renewed reality. Not overnight. Visual regeneration follows biological timelines, but often faster than you might imagine possible. The human body operates on fascinating schedules of renewal. Your taste buds regenerate every 10 days. Your skin completely renews every 27 days. And the cells in your retina, the light-sensing tissue at the back of your eye, undergo significant regeneration within approximately 21 days. This 21-day timeline creates a perfect benchmark for noticing the first meaningful improvements in your visual experience. While individual results vary based on age, starting condition, and consistency, here's what many people report after just 3 weeks of dedicated practice. First, many notice improved reading clarity. Margaret, a 64-year-old librarian, described it this way. I didn't realize how much I'd been squinting until I stopped needing to. It wasn't dramatic, just suddenly noticing that reading felt more comfortable, less strained. This subtle shift happens because proper nutrition allows the focusing muscles around your lens to work more efficiently while supporting the clarity of the lens itself. You might find yourself holding reading material slightly farther away comfortably, a sign that your focal flexibility is improving. The second common improvement comes in reduced light dependency. Thomas, at 70, had gradually increased the brightness of every lamp in his home just to function in the evenings. After 3 weeks of consistent eye nutrition and relaxation practices, he was surprised to find himself turning lights down. It was almost too bright, he laughed. I suddenly realized I was seeing comfortably with much less illumination. This change reflects improved function of the rod cells in your retina, the specialized receptors responsible for low-light vision, that are particularly dependent on vitamin A to regenerate quickly and efficiently. Perhaps one of the most noticeable early changes is decreased eye dryness and irritation. Carol had spent years cycling through various artificial tear products, finding only temporary relief. By week 3, I realized a full day had passed without reaching for my eye drops, she reported. My eyes just felt normal. I'd forgotten what that was like. This improvement stems from 2 factors: enhanced production of natural lubricating tears, which require vitamin A for proper composition, and reduced inflammation in the delicate tissues of the eye surface. Night vision improvements often begin around the 3-week mark as well. This typically starts with faster adjustment when moving from bright to dim environments, like entering a restaurant from daylight and being able to see the menu sooner. Gradually, this extends to better overall night vision, including reduced sensitivity to oncoming headlights while driving. James described his experience. The halos around streetlights started shrinking. They didn't disappear completely, but they were noticeably less intrusive. I could actually see the road better, instead of being distracted by the glare. Many also report decreased visual fatigue when using computers or phones. Modern screens demand relentless near-focus work from our eyes, a task they weren't evolutionarily designed for. As your nutritional status improves and your focusing muscles strengthen through simple exercises, your visual stamina naturally increases. I used to feel this heavy, tired feeling behind my eyes by mid-afternoon, explains Patricia, a medical transcriptionist. Now I can work a full day without that dragging exhaustion. My eyes still get tired, but it's different, more like normal fatigue, not that burning strain I'd gotten used to. Perhaps most significantly, many report an overall sensation of visual relief that's difficult to quantify, but profoundly affects quality of life. It's often described as a lifting of pressure, a sense of ease that replaces the constant strain most of us have normalized. Michael, a 59-year-old engineer, put it perfectly. It's like I've been wearing a slightly too tight hat for years, and someone finally removed it. You don't realize how uncomfortable you were until the discomfort stops. These improvements don't mean you'll necessarily throw away your glasses in 3 weeks, especially if you have significant refractive errors. But even those requiring corrective lenses often find they depend on them less frequently, particularly for intermediate tasks like computer work or seeing price tags while shopping. The most beautiful aspect of this timeline is that 21 days marks just the beginning. The benefits compound with consistent practice. What starts as subtle improvements in the first month often develops into significant visual recovery by month 3, 6, and beyond. Think about this. You've likely been experiencing progressive visual decline for years or even decades. Investing 21 days in potential improvement seems remarkably reasonable by comparison, doesn't it? Imagine 3 weeks from today, turning the page of a book or looking at a loved one's face with just a little more clarity, a little less strain. That first improvement becomes the foundation for the next and the next, a positive spiral of visual renewal, rather than the negative spiral of decline you may have accepted as inevitable. All from 5 minutes of focused attention each day. 5 minutes that could change your visual future, starting with the very next 21 days of your life.